Hi, I'm going to show you how to use Pear Deck to create an interactive lesson using something you already have. So what I'm going to do is find an old lesson from last year that I used with students. So let's just go with something like World War II PowerPoint. So I'm going to open this up in Google Slides. So you'll see this is a PowerPoint that just basically starts to explain things that are going on in World War II. And so now that I'm into the PowerPoint, what I want to do is go over to, up on the top, you'll see this little pear looking thing. And I'm going to click on it. It's Pear Deck. And so this is an add-on for Google Slides, and it'll pop up over here to the right. So there's a few different ways you can do this. The easiest way to add Pear Deck and make this interactive is to go to the template library. When you go to the template library, you can find either lesson builders for beginning, during, and end. You can find things for critical linking or socio-emotional learning. You can find example questions for any content area, or you could look in social studies, English, math, science. I'm just going to go with something basic for the beginning of the lesson. And so there's a lot of different choices you could have. And so for today, because World War II is the topic I just selected, I'm going to pick draw or type two things you already know, because this is something students may have heard of before. So now you can see it's working over here on the right. And what's going to happen is it says draw or type two things you already know. I'm going to drag this to the top because it's the first thing I want students to do. And what will happen is when you're presenting this in Pear Deck, it says students draw anywhere on the slide. Students can draw or type things that they already know, and you'll be able to see them. Let's say that you want to go a few slides we'll go to the onset of war, and after this you want to quiz them on what they know and what they've learned. You can find a few things, true, false slides. You can say how you're feeling. You can give a statement and say whether you agree or disagree. Or there are some multiple choice questions in here as well. So this is how you add the Pear Deck slides in. I'm also going to show you what this looks like when you're working with students and how you can see what they're doing. So now that you've created your interactive lesson, what you're going to do is you're going to go to peardeck.com. And on peardeck.com, you'll want to go and log in as a teacher. So you go to teacher login up here on the top. And then you'll want to log in with Google and use your fcpsschools.net account, because that's where you created your interactive lesson. So I'm logging in here. And so you've already created your lesson in Google Slides. There's also a few different other things you can do in here, but what we're going to do today is go down to present a file from Drive. And so what you'll see down here is this is the most recent thing you've edited. So you can, when you click on start, you can either go to start live session if you're going to be doing this during class, or if you wanted to have students do this on their own at their own pace, you can go to start student paced. You could also, if you wanted to start it live and then have students work through a few more things on their own, you could start it as live and then switch to student paced later. But let's just go through and click start live session. It's going to launch a presentation. So what you'll do is you want to share this specific screen with your students on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Students will go to joinpd.com and then they'll type in this code, UWZPY. If you'd like to also, you can click Give Students a Link and then go to your Google Classroom and share it with that specific class at that specific time. Note that you're going to have multiple sessions. Each class is going to have its own presentation, so you will want to make sure that you only post it if you post it for this one specific class. Then when students get in, they can start drawing or typing, and you'll be able to see that in real time. And I'll have another video that'll show you what this looks like. Now that you have a student connected, you'll want to wait for your whole class. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to have myself do it on a different screen. But now that you've got your students connected, you want to go to Start Class. And then over here, you also want to go down here and go to Open Dashboard in New Window. And so that's going to open up this window right here. So you'll be able to see what the students are doing. This is not going to show up in your Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. This is your own thing. The reason I wanted to show this to you is this is how you'll be able to tell what students are doing. So students presently are working on the draw or type 2 things you already know about today's topic. So I'm going to, in another screen, be that student. And so you can see your student, and it looks like your student is kind of goofing off. So if you're watching this in real time in a different window, what you can do is say, hey, Lindsay, I noticed that you're not taking the assignment very seriously, or hey, Lindsay, maybe you should add some more detail to that. Either way, though, I wanted you to be able to see what what students are doing. If there are more students, you can just scroll down and see what everyone's up to. You can also show the responses to the rest of the class if you wish. And students can't move ahead. So even though there are all these other slides here, they can't move ahead until you do. One last thing, when you're done, you want to go down to the bottom right corner and click End. And then you'll want to name this. So let's say that this is first period history. And then maybe give the date. So today is 5/14. So you're going to save and end session, and then it says share takeaways. What's going to happen is students are going to get their own copy of their work, and so that way they can reference it, and that way that they can understand what they did. So now we're going to return home, and so now that you're done with your lesson, you can see what happened during your classes by going up here to sessions. And so you'll notice that here's your session, so you can see the file names, and you can also see the takeaways. And so in the takeaways, you'll be able to see what students did and how well they did it. So now that it's done loading, go to Open Takeaways in Drive, and what it'll do is pull up first period 5/14 folder in your drive, and you'll be able to see a copy of what a blank response would look like, and then it says Lindsay Fisher here. Lindsay Fisher was your student. So now you'll be able to see what your student did. This box will be there just for students to have, so that after the lesson they can go back and reflect and revise and think about what they were saying. And then they can also see how they responded. So notice the student wasn't taking it very seriously. But this way they can see what their thoughts were, and they also get a copy of your notes. Thank you.